All right, let's talk audio for a change this time. Welcome back to Pixel Viilage, and I'm Radha Krishnan. You heard about this brand called Moza, right? From a company called Goodson. Now, well, of course, you know them because they make some of the finest gimbals for DSLRs, mirrorlesses, and mobile phones. Now they have entered the audio market as well, and they have started a new division called Mirfak. Well, of course, got launched recently. Of course, we were under lockdown. We have it now, so we thought we will talk about it in this video. When it comes to audio, I have this feeling, I always felt that audio plays a major role in creating a certain impact in the video. In fact, I think I have mentioned it in some of our earlier videos that a good quality audio can actually take an average quality video to a great level. I mean, it can actually take you and give you a different experience altogether. But a great quality video with a poor quality audio, chances are that it may not be appreciated as much. Okay. Now, we all know that there are, for our kind of domain, digital content creations, we use 2-3 different types of microphones. One is the the lapel mics and wired lapel mics, wireless lapel mics, when there is a transmitter and a receiver, and we also use on-camera mounted mics. They're called the shotgun mics. Of course, they are also available off the camera. So there are many different types. Of course, these days, very few people use in-camera mic to record audio. So each one comes with its own advantages and disadvantages. All right. In this video, I'm going to be talking about a wireless microphone because the one which we have here today, the Mirfak WE10, is one such product. Of course, I have unboxed it. No tada moment because I told you this was launched already. So there is no surprise. Let me bring the microphones, in fact, the transmitter and the receiver in front of you. And of course, the accessories. This is called the Dead Cat. I'll tell you what it is. I'm sure some of you already know it. A lavalier mic, a wired lavalier mic, a connecting cable, and of course, a USB charger. This is all you get in the box. Of course, comes with a nice velvety pouch. Now, let's talk about the product, okay? Now, it comes with a transmitter and a receiver. You know what a transmitter and receiver. There are similar products, in fact, is available in the market at a different price point altogether. In fact, what Mirfak is actually promising is quality at a price. Because that's what a digital content creator is always looking for. Good quality at affordable pricing. Now, there are lots of products available at the entry price level points. But like I said, when it comes to audio, I have noticed that quality and price is actually directly proportional. The transmitter can be used as a standalone device. Okay, which means it can be used to record the audio as well. So this has a micro SD card slot. Put the card in, slide the switch to record mode, and then you are ready to go. Till you stop recording, it will record everything that is being said to it. Now, the SD card records audio, but it is not WAV. It is still MP3, but it is still very high quality. Of course, it's got a USB 3 port for charging. Rechargeable battery will last for about 3.5 hours, depending upon your usage. In case if you want to record it a little more professionally, then of course you can record it using a lavalier microphone. So the lavalier, of course, goes on your lapel, and the input goes in here using a 3.5 mm socket. Of course, you can also record internally onto the SD card if this is how you want to use it. And you can also use it using the transmitter, during which time you will switch off the recording option, which is here. Switch it off, and this kind of automatically switches to the transmitter. Now, I want to quickly talk about the build quality too. Now, of course, it doesn't have a build to last kind of a feel, but if you take care of it, I think this will serve you for a long time. Now, let's come to the receiver. Now, the receiver also has a clip. It also slides in to the hot shoe. Of course, there are no hot connections, so this basically is just to hold this receiver in place on top of the camera. Now, in terms of build quality, this is exactly like the transmitter. But this has a little more features, a little more controls, which any audio person would love to have. Of course, it's got an on-off switch. It's got a line out. So basically, you can loop a line out, and this can go into your recording device. And this can be a camera. This can be your, your big recorder, your audio recorder, whichever. You can use that. Also has a headphones connection. If you're serious about your audio, I think you must use a headphone and monitor the audio. So you switch it on, and one nice bright LED screen lights up in front of you, showing your battery level, your transmitting signal strength, your dB value controls, and the low cut filter. So that's about it. What we are going to now quickly do is we're going to kind of replace our existing audio, which, let me admit that it is from a different price point altogether. It's a little more expensive, but you will definitely see a difference. But then, of course, there is a price difference in the Mirfak WE10 too. This is like probably 1/3 the price of what I am using now as my audio device. I'm going to use the transmitter plus the Lavalier mic. And of course, this is going to go on top of my camera and record in the camera. Okay. After that, we will get out. So, Aditya, let's quickly swap our audio. All right, now I am recording through the Lapel mic and the WE10. The receiver is on the camera, and my settings are, I told you there are 3 settings. There is a mute control, there is a low cut filter, and also a gain control, right? So gain, of course, is like, let me quickly explain, what it is for. It'll definitely help you if you are not really initiated into audio. Gain is like ISO for photographers. When you have lots of light, you can work at lower ISOs, and it'll give you a better quality image, right, for a photographer. And when the light is low, you work with higher ISOs. Now, you get the image, all right, but the trade-off is that you might introduce some grains or noise into your image. Similarly, when you work with audio, and if the audio is nice and loud and there are no ambient noise levels, you should try and work with a low dB input level. So a minus dB would be ideal. This receiver can go up to -18. The next option is -6. 0 is like no gain, it's neutral. And then you can add, suppose if your, the audio levels are very weak, you can add by putting a positive value. 3 dB would basically mean that the system will start amplifying your information. And the final one is 6. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels. Okay, -18, -6, 0, +3, and +6. We are shooting at -18 because we are inside a studio. I'm very close to the camera. Well, the distance, of course, will not really matter because this has a 30-meter range, about 100 feet range. So the audio should not idly, go down at all. So this is perfectly fine, but we are in a controlled condition. So -18 will ideally should give you good quality audio. The other control the receiver has is the low cut filter. Now don't confuse it between a low pass filter, okay? Both are two different things. This guy has something called low cut filter, which basically means that it cuts off, if you opt that function, it cuts off the low frequencies, basically rumbling and noises. So to give you an idea, the human ear can hear frequencies from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, 20 kilohertz. This system can receive signals from 65 hertz to 20,000 hertz. When you choose to cut low frequencies, it actually allows you to cut at 170. So everything below 170 hertz will get cut off completely, or 230, or decide to have no low cut at all. So 0, 170 and 230 are the three options that you have in this device. Now, when do you use that? When you have lots of hum or low rumbling, in the vicinity, and the camera or the receiver is catching that. If you want to knock that off, you exercise that. Otherwise, my kind of voice will become very mid-tonish if you exercise that, because I think I have a little bassy or bassy kind of voice. The low pass filter is very different. Low pass does exactly the opposite. It shaves off the high end, basically the distortions, and allow only the lower end frequencies to pass through. So don't confuse between the low cut filter and the low pass filter. WE10 has a low cut filter. Use it very judiciously. Now, if you ask me, I'll tell you not to mess around with the low cut filter. Keep it at 0. Now, you can do these controls very consistently, very conveniently in post, which will be much better, because if you cut it off while recording, it's gone forever. You will not be able to bring it back. But on the editing table, you are in a much better much more controlled situation than you are on the field. At that point is when you should exercise that option. And Adobe Premiere Pro with Audition will very conveniently, very easily let you make those decisions, those fine tunings in the post. So I will not personally mess with the low cut filter. I'll keep it at 0. But I will definitely make sure that I exercise the lowest dB possible, so that I get much cleaner sound. That's why it's important for the man in the camera to be monitoring that audio, the received audio properly using a headphone, so that the levels. Well, you can also use the digital meter on top of the receiver to make that decision. Now, all this while, we've been recording using the Lapel mic. Now I'm going to switch to the mic which is with the transmitter. Okay, just hold on there. All right, now I'm using the Omnidirectional mic which is with the transmitter. Omnidirectional, it records from 360 degrees without any problem. The only thing that you need to be careful about is that not to knock or rub against the surface of the transmitter. If you do that, that'll get recorded. Yeah. So if you're holding the transmitter, make sure that you're holding it properly and you're not rubbing the walls of the transmitter. You can also, if you're wearing a shirt, you can also use the clip at the back. Okay, you can clip it on to the shirt. Now, I personally prefer the lapel because I think it is more convenient, more elegant, rather than something like this sticking out. And it's kind of a visual disturbance for me. So I will not use it as much as possible. And if you are out in the open and if there is lots of wind noise, this guy will cut it to a great extent because it's got a kind of a covering. But you have the dead cat. Put it on top of this, cover the microphone with this guy, and this will filter out the wind noise to a great extent. Okay, now let's record some audio using the SD card. So which means I don't really require the receiver. I can take this SD card, the data in the SD card, and match it in the post. All right, all I have to do is to shift the switch to record position, and whatever I speak now is being recorded in the SD card. Now what we're going to do is to get out and go into the corridor and check the distance, the 30-meter distance, and see if we need to make some corrections in the receiver. So I will go back and go back onto the, lapel, which is what I am comfortable with, and let's see that outside. Come along with us. Okay. All right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk. We need to check the distance, right? So the distance is about 30 meters, about 100 feet. And currently I'm at about 6 feet away from the camera. I am working at 18 dB, minus 18 dB, and no low cut filter because we decided that we're not going to do that. And let me keep walking away. I'm using the lapel. The transmitter is here. So I'm going to keep walking away. I'm going to stop in between and keep talking to you, okay? The camera is going to be exactly here because the transmitter is on the camera. All right, probably I'm at a halfway mark, and I'm sure you can hear me pretty well with the same dB setting. And I'm going to keep walking away, further away from the camera. All right, now I'm here. I think this looks like the kind of distance that they have talked about, and I'm sure you can hear me pretty well. Same settings, minus 18 dB, and maybe you can also hear some ambient, traffic noise because there's a road right outside. Let me keep walking a little more further away and see when it will actually start cutting off, okay? So I'm going to walk down the steps and move outside, all right? So maybe you can pan the camera. Here I am. This is definitely more than 100 feet. And I'm going to keep walking away, maybe probably introduce some obstacles. Let's see if the audio is going to be still all right. So I'm going to walk away out into the street. I might disappear from the camera. Okay, I'm going to keep walking away. I'm going to keep walking away. All right. Okay. Are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear me well? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Wonderful. Let me quickly show you how the dead cat work with the microphone, because I think this is how most of these solo shooters will work. They may not want to use a receiver. They will want to use only the transmitter and want to use it as a recorder. They will prefer to record in the SD card and match the audio in the post. Okay, right? So in goes the dead cat. Now with the dead cat on, I'm sure you can hear a reduction in the disturbances all around, especially the wind noise. There is no much of wind noise, but there are lots of disturbances around. But this basically is used to reduce the wind noise. And yes, it comes with a small note of caution, is that you have to use it very carefully, because it is not weather resistant. It is made of good quality plastic, but it doesn't have that made to last feel. But if you take care of it, it will give you good service for a long time. So from the point of view of quality at a price, I think the Mirfak WE10 is a highly desirable product. If you are interested in learning photography, please head over to pixelvillage.com. We have a set of fantastic photography teachers there taking classes for you. They're all recorded sessions. You can watch the bouquet of offering, and if you like it, you can subscribe. Stay safe. Bye for now.